So I came down here last night with the sail cover for the main. I did a lot of work on it pretty badly, and definitely was a gamble, and I'm not surprised to see that it's Hey everybody, welcome to episode 91 of Slowly Sailing. Long overdue, my apologies for the delay. In this episode, which is kind of not a very good one, we will see some success and some failure. Both are part of any worthy effort. I'm going to be doing more work in the forepeak, revealing rot, getting ready to remove the forward hatch, dealing with the chain locker situation, and the new cabinetry, which is probably going to have to be redone. You'll see. That's the failure part. But before I get into that, I have a few mysterious accessories that came with the boat. I don't know their vintage. I don't know who made them. They definitely weren't, almost definitely meant to go with the boat. And I have no earthly idea what they are. The first one is this. We got a piece of wood with some holes in it and some notches in the end. It's got a rope tied to it. Holes are different sizes slightly. At first glance I thought, oh, this is a bumper board that you hang across two fenders when your boat might be up against a piling. But no, why would it have holes in it? I have two more bumper boards. They don't have the extra holes. It's not a bosun's chair. It's way too wide to be a work platform. I even see now, I don't know if you can see that. Leather, there was leather tacked onto this end, but not this end. You can see the tack holes from the leather. If any of you have any idea what the heck this is, let me know. I have no idea. Weird. Even stranger is this. This is a lightweight spar. Probably Sitka spruce like everything else. Same white paint that was on all the other spars on the boat. Same clear finish. Probably Sea-Tall, I'm going to guess. It's got this beautiful servicing with worming, which is the extra wrap of line in the middle, which suggests a handle, but no, it's not a bow. It's definitely not a bow. It's got this rope on it that is spliced on at either end, and again, very nicely, creating a bridle that's about 2 feet from the point to the center. And at one end only, it has another hole with a tie on it. My first guess was a spinnaker pole or something like that, a jib pole. I don't have a spinnaker on the boat, but something for poling out a jib, maybe. But how would one, this tie is way too short to go around the mast. The mast is 7 inches in diameter, so if you know, let me know. I forgot to mention that I did check to see if it was meant for the gaff topsail, but this gaff topsail is not meant to be used with a spar. And this thing is about 8 feet long, for what that's worth, if you want to try to guess what it is. Last but not least is the weirdest thing that came with the boat. What is this? This is not elastic. It's about 9 inches in diameter, and it has this netting hanging below it, which is a little stretchy, but it's not a storage hammock of any kind. Maybe it's like kinky underwear for a sumo wrestler who's built really, really weird and is uncharacteristically skinny for a sumo wrestler. I don't know. If you know, let me know. Anyway, on to episode 91.
Yeah, I should have, if I had more fabric, I would have covered more of the very worn top area. If you hold this up to the light, you can see through it here. Yeah. Oh, I'm just trying to pull it tight. I already damaged it more. It's pretty janky. I think it's too far gone to mess with anymore. What I might do, what I might do is get a bolt of some kind of fabric and just wrap this center portion where it's worst. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I don't have any good pictures of how that's supposed to fit. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, but it is better than nothing for now. Other than that, I haven't done much today. I didn't sleep well, and I've had trouble rallying this morning and trying to figure out what to do other than the cover. It's just still too chilly. It was just above 50 today, but it's already going down. It's about 2 p.m. And yeah, time to close that portal. It's getting chilly in here. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be about the same. I'd love to do, there's glue and paint projects I'd like to do inside the boat, but I'm just going to have to wait, I think. Well, I've been experimenting in here today with some PVC pipe I had handy. It's probably a little too big. It's 5-inch, but trying to see what would be best to try to get this chain to flake itself into the pan that I made. The problem is I flaked it in there after I dropped it. It's still tending to just pile up here. I can't really make it any steeper, but maybe what I'm gonna do soon, I don't think I'm gonna do it today, is get some more pipe, get a longer piece, put like a 30-degree elbow on the very bottom and see if that will get it to sort of shoot out a little bit more instead of dropping on itself. It really, once it gets going, the good news is the first couple of feet go right down there, but it tends to just kind of, it's just not quite steep enough, and this is not quite slippery enough, maybe. It has a brush coat of epoxy on it, maybe, I don't know. I don't think that would help much, honestly, unless it was maybe plastic, I don't know. But it really tends to want to pile on itself. Even if I drop it farther back, the angle is just not right. I tried tipping this up, even though I don't want it up, and it still didn't quite do it. Another alternative would be to kind of cut off this space by bringing the pipe at a 45 maybe to drop it in there, but I don't know. That will certainly be tricky with any rope. Doing this with a combination of chain and rope, it presents difficulties as it is, but this whole design is for the future when it's all chain, really. For now, I'm gonna have to wrangle the rope down here if it's on deck, and I have to stow it or something. There's not really room to send them side by side through the opening in the deck, or I would just leave the rope coiled up there. And I don't want to get into having to splice rope onto chain or use some kind of shackle or whatever every time I want to deploy the anchor with rope on it. I might try removing the screws I put in here and putting some better hardware to sort of through bolt it, and while at the same time making sure that I can actually get it out of here without demolishing stuff. I haven't tried that yet. I can't do much on deck right now because of the weather. I can't, and the lack of daylight. And I can't do much in the rig. I gotta get somebody to commit to belaying me. Excuse me, so I can go up the mast again. But that'll happen soon enough, before spring proper. It's only the end of the first week of January, so there's time. I just keep obsessing about getting the rig, making progress with the rig. I can't help it. It's more interesting to me than all this other stuff I'm doing, but it's all got to get done. I'm changing my mind again about what I'm going to do today. This has to be dealt with. I still haven't made a temporary box to put over this. And my original plan was to sort of attack it from the outside and try to save as much of this trim as I can. But the more I look at it, especially this corner, which I knew is pretty rotten and is kind of getting worse, the more I think it makes sense to at least begin, get all this trim off as carefully as I can, although it might all wind up a little different. I'm going to try to be surgical, drill out all the plugs, take the fasteners out. At least today, get the bottom edge off to get a better idea of what's going on, and maybe remove some more of this punky wood. There wasn't mold, but it's kind of coming back. It's not good. Mold is not good. I may have to sacrifice all of it. I'm pretty sure there's just 1/2-inch ply with fiberglass on the outside of this. That's another reason it kind of makes sense to start from the inside. Mostly because I don't have that box ready. And even when I have it ready, to have to keep taking it off, putting it back on, taking it off, putting it back on, it's just kind of silly. The more work I do while I have some kind of shell with a tarp over it, probably for the best. So let me get started with that. This will be easy enough. I don't even know. Oh, I know what this was for. This was added later for something. I don't know if you all remember, there was also wood stuck on here to kind of hide the deterioration. Okay, there isn't one on that side. Let's try to. These are still pretty nice. It's a shame to drill. It's a shame to drill these plugs out because they look good. Let me try driving a screw in there to extract them. These might come out a little easier. I think they'll still need a chisel though. Yeah, that went pretty well. Kind of. Not really. There's the gunk in the slot. Yeah. Yeah, it's already spinning. I know why. The wood is soft behind there, no doubt. Oh, really? That's one that's not a spinner. Well, it doesn't want to go right back in. Not wasted, but definitely some corrosion. It's not L stock. Right. Not too bad, and these are all nailed from the inside. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't be nailed because those are ring nails. I may have to just destroy this stuff to get it off. Ring nails are pretty much impossible to remove. Some ancient bedding of some kind. Huh. Okay. Bolt. Interesting. I'm not necessarily planning on recreating the construction of this, but I am really curious how it goes together. I want to avoid taking this off right now if I can help it. I don't know. What the heck is that? Carriage bolt, I think. That's weird. Yeah, it really... I think they are carriage bolts, not a hex bolt. It's not that thick. What does it go into? Well, since this is half rotten anyway, I'm going to take the upper course off of here. I'm going to just start with this face so I know what I'm dealing with here. The screw is right there. Boy, that's a thin plug. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be salvageable, really, which is kind of too bad. Are those nails? Oh. Yeah. Or is that a little screw? Copper nail? Yeah, those seem to be nails. Oh well. Send a message down through the grain. Oh, the wood behind it is so soft, I don't think I'll be able to get any leverage. Oh, come on. There we go. Sorry. Very nice old pine trim. And it seems to be rot free, unlike everything that's behind it. Well, this stuff, yeah. Also pitch pine or yellow pine, and it's the plywood. I guarantee you, by the time we reveal this plywood, it's going to be pretty obvious what's wrong here. I'm very confident of that. Yeah, that looks pretty damn good. Freaking nails. Maybe this will have enough integrity that I can do it from the outside, but I want to get rid of this chunk ASAP. Because I can't control the rot, the fungus. I haven't been treating it every day, but warm air with moisture in it rises here. And now that this has been kind of sealed up for months now, I don't open it really anymore. Yeah, you can imagine it's just feeding the fungus. Go right to that hole. Yeah, man. Let's not get sidetracked. Yeah, I'm gonna do one face at a time here. It's best. What is bouncing out there? Huh. Some rubbing. Maybe the bow line is too slack right now. Do I need the nail puller or can I get away with this? I can get away. Oh, hello. Okay. Wow. So, yeah, I thought these looked great, but you can see the nail that's actually holding this on has given up without a fight at all. Let me get the rest of this off. We'll move on to that. What is that sound? Huh. Oh, I know what it is. It's the rope fender on the about midships, about midway. It's rubbing as it's supposed to do. Come on. Huh. Might be glued. It's kind of acting like it's glued. Yeah, there was a little glue behind there. Ooh, needs a nail puller for that. If it's going to come out. I didn't even look at the other one to see if it was a ring nail or not. I don't think it is. They're not stainless. They seem to be copper or bronze nails. It broke off. I think it's a copper ring nail. Which probably, you know, it's good in the sense that it probably has helped hold this thing together, but yeah, I'm going to have to just break that off or cut it off later. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh my, oh dear, oh my goodness. Yep, that's delaminating, half-rotten plywood. It's not a plank. I'm toying with the idea of replacing this with solid wood. Even if I have to stack planks like tongue and groove. Yeah. That is pretty bad. Pretty darn bad. Wow. The next layer, very nice. Don't even know if this coaming is original or not. Might be, might not be. Yeah, none of this is worth saving really, because the backside is just mush, as you can see. So these are done. Well, that's good, and it would be a giant pain to try to save them. Oh yeah, I can see it just tunneled. Just glad it's not termites. Should wear a mask. Holy cow. It's just dry rot. It's not really moldy. It's bacterial rot, I would imagine. Chime in if you know in the comments, because it doesn't look like mold. It doesn't smell like mold. It just appears to dry rot is, I believe dry rot is bacterial, right? Closing it down as we go. Trying to control that dust. Oh, don't go through. I don't want to go through quite yet. The tarp is really only for the hatch itself, not for the coaming. Oh gosh. Pry bar. And then it kind of suddenly stops, but it resumes here. Yeah, this is too much wood. I'm thinking whatever the structure of the new one is, the inside will be faced with, maybe with metal or something more reflective to take full advantage of the daylight. To take full advantage of the daylight coming in here. Oh, that is a carriage bolt. There's a teak. Oh, here's the nut. It goes into the deck beam here. That's right. This is deck level is about here. Good to know. Good to know. This is promising. It's possible that once I remove these, the whole thing will. And once I cut the Sikaflex around the teak trim, the covering boards, which I'm hoping to not have to disturb, maybe it will just come out, and that will be the key to fitting the new one in as well. So could be good. Could be good. I want to get all this stripped first, and then we'll look. Actually, I might. Nah, I'm not going to even pull one out yet. Right. Very curious about this corner. I'm going to continue going forward on this face first. Let's see what I can see. Wow, that's very mushy. Look at this. There's nothing left but a fiberglass shell. Don't really want to go all the way through, but oh, that's into. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that's below deck level. There's probably some rot in that deck beam. I'm not sure what. I think there is. Damn it. So yeah, there may be more to this than I may be scarfing some wood in. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is why I put a plank deck aft around the cockpit. That's still not 100% watertight back there, but it's not the water's coming through. It's not just hanging out. Well, I'm not gonna, as curious as I am, I'm not gonna dig much more. It's not that bad right there. This didn't feel soft over here on the outside because it's below deck. All right, I'm gonna stop with that, lest I have water start coming in there when it rains. We'll know tonight. It's gonna rain tonight and into tomorrow, I think. So part of the reason I'm doing this today. It's been an ongoing theme with this project. When the weather's bad that I can't do what I really want to do, it's usually the best time for me to do what I have to do because of all the leaking and the rot. All right. It was always here, but it's new, right? It's new to me, new to you. How many people are not surprised? Should I have done it earlier? Nah, not really. Not really. I'm glad I looked instead of saying, oh, I'm not even going to start poking around in there, because the first thing I noticed was this, which told me we might have something like this. Let us hope, although this is another bad area, if I'm real lucky, this section of that deck beam will be the only affected one. And I think once I get this off, it'll be relatively easy to lay some fresh wood in there. Yeah, this isn't just going... So, but I gotta stop thinking about it because I'm gonna want to poke at it, and it's not time to do that. Not till I have the box ready, the cover box thing. Because then if I go straight through the deck, I can just stop. Don't get rid of that yet. We want to go this way. Okay, moving along here into this corner, what we have is... We have a screw that was driven from the outside. And we have a screw that's driven in from below. I might have to take this bottom face off anyway, just to continue with this. I don't know. Yeah, this one is only screwed to this corner piece. I think rather than blow my plugs out, for now, I'm going to just try to pull the ones out that want to come out and deal with them later. See if I can just coax this piece off of here. Is it glued to its partner? I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't want to separate from that, but that's good. If I can leave this for now, that would be good. And that poof, right into the edge of the deck, which is disturbing to say the least. But not unexpected. I might have to get the oscillator to cut this away instead of bashing on it. I think this isn't really like this trim. Maybe I should just leave it for now because it's kind of structural, and continue taking trim off, because this is going to get involved and it's going to be dark pretty soon. I do have all day tomorrow. At least some more vinegar on there. Yeah. Anyway, you see what's going on. I'm going to finish stripping this and then show you what we got. All right, I've sort of reached a stopping point with this for today. I may not remove the forward and aft sections of this, although there's probably more bolts that have to be revealed. I guess I will. I'll probably start on that tomorrow. But here's where we're at with the bad, known to be bad sides. They're really, really bad. We got, again, the deck line is right there, roughly. This is bad. Might be able to scarf. No, I can't. That's right. I'm not going to try to rebuild. I'm not rebuilding this thing. I'm going to make a new thing of the same dimensions. I don't know why I said that. Ignore what I just said. I think I'm just in denial for a moment. Oh, and I'll save this for tomorrow. Past year, I suspect we're looking pretty good, and fore and aft, for whatever reason, I would bet that there's going to be more problems with the aft side, but it mostly seems to be the sides right now, anyway. I vacuumed this. I got to spritz it with some vinegar. Maybe I am tempted to try to repair it, but I don't know if it's worth it. Once I remove it, I got to think about take 3. Thank you, GoPro. Once I remove this, I got to think about ways to construct it so it's strong enough and more weatherproof. It is the next day. It's been raining all morning for a few hours, and I don't see any like flow. Now this is damp because I just hit it with the vinegar solution. I've made some more progress. I've removed the paneling, the trim, this stuff from this face, the port face, getting a better idea of how it's all put together. And I'm glad I started with the looser stuff on the sides, because I see now, fore and aft, I have screws that go into a transverse deck beam. I don't think I'm going to bother blowing this up, because I know what's going on behind it. There's probably more of this. The next phase, when it's time to do it, after I build my temporary covering box, the next phase will be to take all of these fasteners out and try to break the seal, the seam compound on the teak deck, and try to gently ease it off. I'm glad. Another reason I'm glad I'm doing this bottom trim, I decided, let me try to pry it gently, because I don't want to have to dig out all these screws that have been heavily painted. I don't know if I'm going to put this stuff back, but I managed to get it off intact. But look, the screws came out way too easily, which is worrisome. But it looks like this stuff it's about this thick, yeah? So this isn't really a deck beam. This is just more ply, and it's pretty wet. I don't think this is just from my spraying. It's pretty punky. So the screws came out because they were screwed into the end grain of the plywood, which has deteriorated. So this beam, it's a laminated beam like everywhere else. It seems pretty good, but we'll see when we get this off. I'm really curious. That's not teak. Why do I think that's teak? I didn't take this bottom trim off because it seems to be sort of trapped in here, and that's okay. I took the quarter round off there hoping it would free it up, but it didn't, and that's okay. Anyway, yeah, at this point, I'm going to stop with ripping this stuff off, which is a giant pain in the butt anyway. Get some more off of this. I don't see a reason to dig in here anymore. I'm really tempted to start removing fasteners. Maybe I'll see about taking the nuts off the other side of these, because that's going to be, how do we even get that one? Okay, that one's, it was done before this cabinet was built. I can feel it. That one's going to have to be cut. I think I'm just going to cut around it, maybe. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. There's that one. I can access it, sort of. Yeah, this one, only half the hole is revealed. This bulkhead was built right against it. Great. Awesome. This one I can get at. These are just screws. I think I'm going to start with the easy bit. Try to I'll probably pull them all out and then put one back in just so this thing doesn't blow away. Although I'm being wildly optimistic as how loose it would be. It could be glued in for all I know. Although it doesn't really seem like it, but I don't think it's glued. It might be bedded though, right? It's gotta be bedded, right? Shouldn't it be bedded? Anyway, well, let me get at that for a while, and I'll show you where I'm at. Actually, I'm gonna take all these screws out. We'll leave 1 or 2 bolts in on the sides. This thing isn't gonna blow away or come loose in any way. We're not going sailing till probably, well, at least until the cover's on. That ain't bad. That's a keeper. Yeah, nice. Cool sound. Another keeper. All right, well, I guess this one's coming out. Oh, yeah. Wow. I can feel, oh, yeah. This is worth a look-see. This seems to be in better shape than over here, but it's not. It just hasn't gotten so bad that it's rotted this stuff much. Finish getting this guy out without damaging it. Those frickin' ring nails are the bane of my existence. But, you know, whoever built this probably was not anticipating anyone doing any, you know, trying to redo things almost 50 years in the future. It's part of the folly of buying an older wooden, or any wooden boat, or building a wooden boat, is that you have to be realistic about shelf life. But she was built, you know, if you've been following the channel, you might agree that she was built well enough overall that it's not entirely out of the question that I can keep her going for, I don't know, the rest of my life. I just turned 63, so and unless I take better care of myself, it may not be all that long. I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm not hinting at that. I'm just old. Anyway, well, yeah, it's soft, but it's not horrible. I don't want to get into prying that all the way off. It's not worth the effort. Speaking of being old, you learn to economize your energy. At this point, I'm doing it all just out of passion, madness, romance. Really, I guess an obsession. Yeah, I think that's it. It'd be safe to call it an obsession. It'd be accurate to call it an obsession. Plus, I'm in too deep, right? It really smells like mildew in here now. I'm glad I'm doing this. This would have eventually, if I'd neglected this, I think, in my lifetime, I would have had a real problem. I've had to face the reality that I could wind up having to sell this boat, you know, before I feel like I'm done with it. So I have to consider the intrinsic, you know, the valuation, the sweat equity aspect of all this, even though I'd much rather be not worrying about this at all and getting her ready to go sailing early in the season this year. And, but, you know, I have to consider all of that stuff. The latest survey didn't even take this into account. The surveyor didn't look in here, but if and when I do sell this boat while I'm still alive, if I do that, I'm going to be forthcoming, you know, and I will certainly refer them to all of these videos. Which reminds me, I've got to start writing down. I have a brand new nice maintenance log where you're supposed to record maintenance and repairs. I haven't written a word in that yet. I had to review all the episodes to get the timeline right. I basically remember what I did, but anyhow, okay, we got those. I got to get the socket set and the P blaster and summon all the goodness in the universe that I can get pretty much all these nuts off without major issues. I don't want to just cut all of them, because some of them might actually be good enough to set. These are bronze carriage bolts that are about 4 inches long, so. Okay, that went better than expected. I got all the nuts off except this one, which I can't get at. This bolt will probably have to be cut, but not now. I left one more bolt in the port side. Pulled all these screws out. All the hardware is in decent condition, reusable for non-critical things. I don't know if I'll reuse it to put the new one in or not. I got to do more demolition before I know exactly what I'm going to do, how the new one's going to tie into the boat. I think I'm pretty confident that once I break the seal, as it is now, it should come out in one piece. So I'm going to stop picking away at it from inside. It's not worth it, especially loosening up all this rotten wood, letting it get into the boat. I got another little project in mind for today in here, of course. This is where it's all happening right now. But before I do that, I got to vacuum again and spray some more vinegar. Because, yeah, it smells kind of gross in here. I don't have bronze, but I got stuff that I think will work. And we'll keep an eye on it. I don't expect this to be a high corrosion area, but I could be wrong. Did it? Ow. It's not the kick plate. Oh, it's rubbing here too a little bit. We're getting there, sort of. And it broke. My glue joint failed. It's too snug. All right, so we're gonna have to repair this. Well, good to know. That tells me that it wasn't really strong enough anyway, right? But complete failure. Falling apart now. And that broke off. Took a bunch, well, didn't take the trim with it. Thank goodness. But yeah, this is a rebuild. Yeah, PVC, probably too brittle. Probably. And the glue joint failed miserably. I even sort of half accidentally filleted with epoxy, but that didn't really work either. Wow. Yeah, it's too brittle. The glue didn't fail. Well, the glue kind of failed, but okay, I'm gonna have to take a bunch of this trim off and then reinforce this with wood. What I really should do is bite the bullet, get some good marine ply, make this out of marine ply, rebuild it, and then epoxy the snot out of it. That's what I probably should do. Yeah, but I got to rebuild that thing. We'll call this a pattern. It's I made such a mess of it anyway, even though it's never really going to be seen. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum in here a little bit, and then we'll just come back to it at some point in the near future. Well, that thing pretty much came apart in my hands when I was just trying to look at what I had to do with it. The glue didn't set properly. The fasteners weren't long enough. The PVC is probably just a terrible mistake. I'm going to bring it home and see what I can do about it. I'll show you what happened to it when I get it home. Speaking of going home, I think I might leave today. I might leave very soon because there's not a whole lot else that's worth getting into right now. Can't do anything topside because it's pouring rain. I got some more damp rid I got to put around here in the boat. I got to gather up all the tools I'm going to need at home to fix that thing. And then I'm going to go home and maybe try to create an episode to upload tomorrow.